To call this Crystal City Council meeting to order. Let's start with roll call.
Councilmember Budashevsky.
Here.
Councilmember Cummings.
Here.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Here.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Here.
Councilmember Parsons.
Here.
Mayor Adams.
Here.
Councilmember Banks.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. We have an agenda before us, and Brendan has made clear he wants to go ahead and make an adjustment on that.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda, but removing, what is the number?
7.2.
7.2.
7.2, taking that back to work session.
Okay.
I second that motion.
All right, we got a second. Let's have some discussion on it, because we didn't really have time during the work session to do
okay.
that. So outreach is number one, some wording around outreach. What is the other issue? I mean, other issues, or what concerns do you have?
Well, I would like to find a more common ground, a consensus among all of us. I would like to feel that, we've been part of the process, have a greater discussion about it, much as what Brendan has said.
Part of the process, how do you mean?
Well, I just think that, we were so divided between the Golden Valley DEI Commission and the Plan B proposal. I'd like to find something that's a little more closer together, narrower in scope.
Okay, so
That's just my opinion.
I guess my question is going to, what are the issues that you're seeing with the version that we're moving forward?
Me particularly?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that the, this is here, 2.03.C. I think it's wordy, it's a big run-on sentence. I think that needs to be cleaned up a bit and be a little more concise.
That particular thing, we spent an awful lot of time, and we think we've got it to a place where we like it, or I do anyway. And I don't want to water that down. I think it's important. I think it says some important things. I'm not interested in doing it for that reason. If there's some verbiage that, if there's something that we're not going far enough in, I thought we were going further. I would like to retain that, but when we had 2 work sessions, and I guess there were a number of different writers in this version, and we had to keep it at 3 because otherwise we'd be violating open meeting laws.
Right.
So,
And I think, and to that point, I think that's also why it's important, right? I mean, that we take it to the work session, right, to kind of further have that conversation, that if there's, any further input from, from Councilmember Parsons, Cummings, and Kaiser, Budashevsky's voiced his concern as well, but that's my.
So,
I want to build a greater consensus.
yeah, I mean, I thought there would be a more consensus if we went further than sticking with the one from Golden Valley. I thought that would be embraced, but it wasn't. So, in the spirit of we have a version that's going to pass, I would like to, if we go back to work session on this, to understand what the scope is. And quite frankly, if you're hitting that C1 and you want to get rid of that and water that down, that's going to be an argument. So what with outreach are you thinking? I mean, outreach was, it's a word that's in there and it's used differently a couple times, so we were focusing on the actual word of outreach, and there's a,
You know, I'd be willing to entertain clause that also includes E from the Golden Valley model, which would be collaborate with organizations who host and promote events that educate the community on being a multicultural community and other issues, and to promote awareness and appreciation of all cultures.
didn't we have that? I thought we had that in there.
Well, and
I said A and E, right?
I'm talking about
you
E
could
of the
incorporate
old version, which we don't have a copy in front of us.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant A and E of this version. It doesn't specifically say what John says, but you can include that. It's,
It's functional in that realm.
right.
it is,
Yeah.
and again, that's why, like I also said, right, I mean, Teresa has a bunch of notes over here, and I don't want to speak for her. You know, and that's, again, kind of why I was pointing out, like, because I mean, we could start really digging into this, but I think that should be done at the work session, even if you know, we've been putting in the work. Let me say, I think we've been done a lot of really hard work, good work. You know, this is actually kind of, I mean, this is, to me, I'm not necessarily that it's fun, but right, almost our job, right, to really work through and hash through the difficult things rather than just saying, you know, than arguing or just saying, you know, okay, well, yep, it's approved, right? But I feel like we are, you know, almost there. You know,
So-
the inclusion piece of everybody else in the council, I think, is important to gain that greater consensus.
So what we're talking about is a wordsmithing work session, is really what we're talking about. Because traditionally, we don't really wordsmith those things. Things come in from staff or from wherever they come in. So it's gonna look very different. And quite honestly, I think if we can go beyond for supporting the version that comes out, that would be fabulous. But if it's undoing everything and stepping back, that's something I wouldn't support if we end up with 4-3 the other direction. That's not progress as far as I'm concerned. Go ahead.
So on our agenda tonight, there's a work session, a meeting immediately following the council meeting tonight. So would we be discussing this tonight, or will this be put on a calendar at a different date?
That's a good question. I was going to ask Troy that.
So, Mr. Mayor and council, I believe the way the second work session is set up is to handle any item on the first work
Right,
session.
it's a continuation
That carries
of the
over.
first.
So I would say no.
No.
That you wouldn't put it on the second work session tonight.
Yeah, because there's not going to be one. I mean, we would have had to continue it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any heartburn going back to work session? Can we get an agreement amongst us that we're going to get more consensus?
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
I agree. Hard to believe, right?
Stunning.
Stunning, is what he said.
So, Mr. Mayor,
All right, yeah,
I'm sorry, perhaps you were just going to do this, but, so there was a motion and a second?
yep, there is. Yep. Any, all right, all members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Wow, we approved an agenda. We are something else.
How long did that take? That wasn't, only 10 minutes.
Come on. Easy.
We've done worse.
All right, we got three proclamations. First proclamation is our Arbor Day celebration for 2022, May 4th, 2022. Whereas Crystal is a tree city and has been a tree city since 1998. And whereas the Crystal Parks and Recreation Commission serves as the Crystal Tree Board. Whereas the Crystal Tree Board and the Parks Recreation Commission holds an annual community event to recognize the importance of trees in our community and to provide information to residents in the roles trees play in filtering our air and water, fostering biodiversity, and strengthening our communities. Whereas this year, Crystal Arbor Day will be Wednesday, May 4th at 6 p.m. at Bassett Lake Park, located at 5625 Xenia Avenue North, and includes park cleanup, information on forest efforts in Crystal, tree planting at Bass Lake Park, distribution of free Arbor Day trees, and whereas the City of Crystal wishes to promote Parks and Recreation Commission, the Crystal Tree Board, and the Arbor Day celebration. Therefore, I, Jim Adams, Mayor of Crystal, of the City of Crystal, do hereby proclaim May 4th, 2022 as Arbor Day in the City of Crystal, dated this 3rd day of May, 2022. Second proclamation is in recognizing May 5th as a National Day of Prayer in Crystal, whereas throughout our country's history, citizens and many religions have and beliefs have turned to pray for strength, hope, and guidance. And whereas the First Amendment of the United States Constitution protects the rights of free speech and religious liberty, including the rights of all citizens to pray. And whereas the United States observes an annual National Day of Prayer on the first Thursday in May to recommit to the core freedoms that defined and guided our country from the earliest days, and celebrate that we can exercise our convictions freely regardless of faith or belief. Now therefore, I, Jim Adams, the Mayor of Crystal, do hereby proclaim May 5th as recognition of National Prayer Day in Crystal, and the city of residents are invited to give thanks and consent in their own faiths, in their own ways, for our many freedoms. Proclaimed this May 3rd, 2022, Jim Adams. All right. Peace officer. So this is for National Police Week, which is May 15th through the 21st, 2022. Peace Officer Memorial Day, May 15th, 2022. Whereas the week of May 15th to the 21st, 2022 is National Police Week in the United States. Whereas there are over 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including dedicated members of the Crystal City Police Department. Whereas over 48,000 assaults against law enforcement officers are reported each year, resulting in over 17,000 injuries. Whereas since the first recorded death in 1791, a total of 22,610 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and died in the line of duty, including 298 Minnesota law enforcement officers. Whereas the names of these depicted public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Memorial in Washington, D.C., whereas 619 new names of fallen heroes, including 4 officers from Minnesota, are being added to the National Law Enforcement Memorial this spring, including 472 line-of-duty deaths in 2021 and 147 officers who died in previous years but whose stories of sacrifice had been lost in history until now. Whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officer Memorial Day in honor of all the fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. Now therefore, I, Jim Adams, Mayor of Crystal, hereby recognize May 15th through the 21st, 2022 as National Police Week in the city of Crystal, Minnesota, and call upon the people of Crystal to observe this week in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep the residents of Crystal safe. Dated this 3rd day of May, 2022. So those are our proclamations for the day. We have our chief here, who I'm guessing she wants to talk.
I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Just for a brief moment, if you don't mind, I am going to invite Deputy Chief Brian Hubbard up here because in case you don't know, Brian is actually the president of LEMA, which is the Law Enforcement Memorial Association for the state of Minnesota. And obviously this is very imperative to what his mission is and what he accomplishes throughout the last several years with LEMA. So I'll turn it over to him.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you for taking the time to recognize our officers for the work that they do in this community. As we've talked about numerous times before, we have an outstanding group that we should be very proud of. And this week means a ton to them for the community to recognize their service and sacrifice. It's been my great honor, probably the highest professional honor I've had, to serve on the Law Enforcement Memorial Association board as the president the last number of years. LEMA exists with the sole purpose to honor the sacrifice of officers who have died in line of duty in Minnesota and to come along and support the surviving family members that are left behind. As I've had an opportunity to meet with family members within hours of the death of their loved one, every time I sit across the table from that survivor, I sit there and think, I hope that no one ever has to have this conversation with Heather, but I'm glad that someone's sitting across from this person. That's been my context every time I sit there. And one of the things that those survivors, and we keep in touch with them through time, the thing that they are most petrified of is that their loved one's sacrifice will be forgotten. That the funerals are done, we've moved on, and now everybody's just moved past. And so one of the reasons that LEMA exists is to make sure that that doesn't happen. We had 5 officers in Minnesota who died in the line of duty in 2021, and we're able to give all of them outstanding honors. LEMA is the group that comes in when you think of all of the things that you see that go into these big funeral deals. LEMA is the group that comes in behind and puts the muscle behind making that happen. And then as an addition to that idea of making sure that sacrifice is not forgotten, we have the Minnesota Peace Officer Memorial is on the grounds of the state capitol. Recently remodeled after many years of lobbying, a very decrepit memorial was updated and is now a beautiful memorial. And as a part of our Police Week festivities, we have a 24-hour standing guard that happens from May 14th in the evening through May 15th, where we have officers from around the state that are standing guard at that memorial, as well as our LEMA Honor Guard walking the blue line that is there to signify, representing that we have not forgotten them. And our goal in that is to make sure that through that 24-hour period, all 298 names are read aloud as a recognition to those families that we have not forgotten that sacrifice. And then I would invite you all at the conclusion of that on May 15th at 7 p.m. At the memorial for our annual memorial service, where we again honor and recognize that sacrifice. So we just think it's important for you to know because the city sacrifices some of my time to help make this happen on behalf of the work of the state, to which I'm very appreciative to the chief and the city for allowing that to happen. But again, just very appreciative of you all continuing to support our officers and recognizing that this is a very, very important sentiment for the staff that we work with. So thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. All right. Next on our agenda is the consent agenda. I'll read that into the record at this time. Approval of the minutes from the following meetings: the City Council work session from April 19th, council meeting from that same date, and then approval of the list of license applications submitted by the city clerk to the City Council that is on file in the city clerk's office, adoption of a resolution accepting donations, adoption of a resolution approving one-year extension of a conditional use permit for the Adath Jeshurun Cemetery. I didn't pronounce that right. Do you know how to pronounce that?
Adath Jeshurun.
Thank you. That cemetery pavilion at 3700 Winnetka Avenue North. And that is our consent agenda. Looking for a motion on that. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to move for the agenda.
Thanks, Nancy. Brendan?
Second that motion.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. Now, next is open forum. Do we have anyone here wishing to speak during open forum? Anyone here wishing to speak to the council or the public? Seeing no one approach, we will skip by open forum. Just remember that's available for people if they're interested. Next, we have public hearing, receive comments, and council consideration of a new off-sale liquor license for Abi Saab and Sons Liquor at LLC doing business as Crystal Wine and Spirits located at 4920 Broadway. Chrissy, did you want to address the council on this quickly?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As noted in your staff report, city staff was informed about a change in ownership on March 2nd, and the previous owner called. During our conversation, she shared that Mr. Joe Abisab assumed ownership and started the business on February 11th. There was not a proper liquor license for that, so I informed Mr. Abisab that he could not be open for business until he obtained a proper liquor license. He has since submitted that information, and staff has reviewed that application, and the police department has conducted a background check.
All right.
A hearing notice was published in the Star Tribune on April 22nd and in the Sun Post on April 28th to comply with the 10-day publishing requirements, and no correspondence has been received in regards to the proposed new license. Staff is recommending approval of the off-sale liquor license for the new owner of Crystal Wine and Spirits, and I believe Mr. Abisab is here tonight to address the council, and that concludes my report. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Chrissy. Go ahead.
Just a comment, I mean, with this particular liquor store, it seems to be very common where it changes hands and the new owner has no idea that they have to apply for a liquor license and that the previous owner doesn't even let them know that they need a liquor license, right? Correct? They just assume that it's just transferring over?
I believe that evidently there was a transaction between the buyer and the seller, and I'm
Yep.
not sure how that was explained and where the misinformation was, but I did explain it to Mr. Joe Abisab that he did need to have a license, and the seller, it's unfortunate that that information wasn't transferred to the new owner.
Because that happened to when they bought the liquor store, right? And I think it also happened one time prior as well. So, I mean, it's like the third go-around for this one liquor store, so it's surprising. Anyways.
It is kind of surprising. Any other questions from the council for Chrissy? All right. Seeing none, I'd like to open the public hearing for testimony. Is there anybody here wishing to speak and give testimony on this particular issue, on this license application? Seeing nobody, are you the owner?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk during the public meeting, but it's generally designed for other people. We'll talk to you anyway after. Since nobody's coming, it's now after. Last call for some testimony. Seeing none, I will close the public meeting. Please step forward. We'd love to talk to you. So I think the first thing, kind of leading to John's question, is if you sell, will you please tell who you're selling to that they need a liquor license? That would make us very happy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes without saying, right?
Today I just I had like a metal piece goes in my hand.
No, I'm so sorry to hear.
It just came from the emergency room.
Okay.
So basically, I already know that I need a
Yep.
liquor license. But what happens is we did a purchase agreement with the previous owners,
Yeah.
and now they're selling because of death. So basically, the previous owner he passed away from heart attack or something.
Ah.
So, and then my accountant, he's the same accountant with them, so he told me about the store, and I came check it out. So, basically, we did the purchase agreement plus a management agreement for 6 months. That means I can run the store as manager till I got my liquor license under theirs, okay? So, and this is definitely 100% legal. The lawyer did it. But the problem is like, the previous owner, he died. His sister and his wife was running the store, and they didn't know really about the law. So what did she do? She canceled her license, her insurance, and automatically when you cancel the insurance for liquor license, it will be canceled. It will be canceled as well. So that's why they came and shut me down. You know. So and I was in process to get together the papers that I need, and I have. I was still have a pizza place in Blaine, so it took me a little bit to get all these paper together. So that's all what happens.
Okay. Any questions for? Yeah, go ahead, John.
So you implied, run a liquor store in another city, is that correct?
No, that's my first liquor license.
This is your first liquor, okay,
Yeah.
and so,
I had a pizza place in Blaine.
in Blaine, oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
you serve liquor at the pizza
No,
place?
no, just
You know?
pizza.
Okay, and so what's your experience, in terms of, selling liquor?
I work in. Also, I'm a manager and partner with Camden Grocery and Tobacco in 42nd Fremont, North Minneapolis.
Okay.
I've been there for 8 years, and I believe I did really a lot of improvement in retail.
Okay.
Basically, as liquor, I know about liquor, but I'm not really experienced. I've never had a store before, and basically, all I have to do is. I have the knowledge about liquor, but we have to know who to sell it to, especially locations very sensitive. In front of us, there is rehab center.
Correct.
And make sure we're not gonna sell them. Or I try to get to know them. Now me shutting down for 2 months, it cost me at least $100,000 loss.
I believe
but but the good thing is I stayed there, open to close, the back door open. I'm there doing workshop, painting, doing stuff. So. When customers come, I tell them what's going on, and I got the opportunity to know almost all the guys that's in the rehab center. So I make sure that they come because they're doing rehab for liquor and they wanna come buy some shots and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was good thing. So that we got to know them.
Yeah, don't do that. No.
Yeah,
So I want you to know, as we do compliance checks,
Thank you. There we go.
and so it's very
Yeah.
important that you follow the law to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've been through checks before on the other stores, and then
with the tobacco, yeah, I believe
Yeah.
it. Yeah, especially in Minneapolis. I mean, they're very tough.
Oh yeah, this is tough stuff. But
So-
we always went to by law, and we kept. Back there, we keep 100 feet clean, both sides on the cross, on the traffic light. So we do a really good job there. If you guys want to check, also I can bring somebody from community there and tell you what we do there. So.
And one last thing, we do offer training.
Thank you.
Through the city.
Yeah.
So, and I advise you to take the training.
Of
because
course.
It seems like the establishments that do go through the training seem to do the best.
Yeah.
When it comes to the compliance check, so,
I would get the information for training from who? From.
right there.
Chief Reverend.
Yeah,
No problem.
Yep.
No,
She
no
can,
worries,
she can
yeah.
set you right up.
4 years ago, I applied here for a tobacco license, and I got the license, and I opened up a tobacco shop. It used to be existing on Bass Lake Road. It was like an old mall,
Sure.
and it wasn't the parking. The parking was really tough to so customers would park all the way down. And the city told me you gotta hold a little bit, 6-7 months. So because they're gonna do parkings in front of every store, I couldn't last. I was new and I didn't really, I couldn't afford this, so I shut it down. So now I know City of Bristol is in process of being one of those famous, busiest city. So that's why I was aiming to have a business here.
Wow.
So yeah, that's why I came back though.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I'd also encourage, not just for yourself, but for all your employees that are going to be serving,
Yeah.
yep, all of that.
Because they reflect on you, yeah. So,
I have a couple of them, so we might
Yeah.
come all together.
And they'll have
Training,
all
yeah.
kinds of suggestions for you.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to look at your systems and help you there.
Yes, please.
Oh, awesome. Anything
thank
else?
No, I just wanted to reiterate, we really want you to succeed, and this is in the spirit of that, to
Yep.
make sure that you are in compliance, but also you have a successful business.
I've been searching for this store. I have a lot of nice history. The business
Yeah.
established 1955, and it's been there for quite a few time.
Yeah.
As a liquor store. Even there's things very old inside. If you guys want to
no,
pass by and see it,
Crystal Historic
I have
Society,
1906
history
safe.
buff. Therese, are you still on that?
Big safe old one, Cowboys days.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I'm telling you, it's there.
I think I have enough old things in my house.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see
For me,
you.
it sounds good. Right, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
it looks bad when the whole council just goes to a liquor store, so, we probably get.
So I give discounts for everybody.
That's part of the, never mind.
Watch it. Now Troy's like, no.
No.
Let's stay on track.
All right.
Let's stay on track.
So unless there's,
I can make a motion.
yeah, please go for it.
Yeah. I make a motion to approve the off-sale liquor license for Abisab and Sons for Liquor LLC, doing business as Crystal Wine and Spirits located at 4920 West Broadway.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, David.
I second that.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right. Regular agenda has been pared down. First item is disbursements of $25,000 or greater. I will read those into the record at this time. First item is from the payee Minnesota Para, which is the employee and city required contributions from pay date 4/15/2022, $65,774. Logis for the monthly application, support and hosting, Microsoft renewals as well for $54,325. Mansfield Oil Company for fuel for our fleet, $28,985. West Metro Fire Rescue District for April contribution to West Metro Fire Rescue, $113,656. Met Council for Waterway Services for May, $142,050. SRF Consulting for Bassett Creek Dog Park Design and Crystal Community Center Parking for $34,042. Total disbursements of $25,000 or greater is $438,834.61. Questions from the council on anything? John, go ahead.
Fuel for the fleet. Now, is that a monthly?
No,
No, so that approximately,
it's whenever they bill us. No, I can't remember how often it is, but it is not monthly.
and is it because of the jump in gas prices that it's, I mean?
Well, yeah, I think it's gone up probably $3,000 in the last 2 years.
And we know it's gonna go
Per
up
year.
more this year,
Yeah.
and we're anticipating that in 2023 as well.
Yeah, it's pretty close to our threshold.
Yep. And our new vehicles are much more fuel efficient, right?
Oh, nice way to bring it back around.
We can save a third? Is that what I heard? 2/3. Oh, I'm liking it already.
Oh, wow. Is that what they said? Okay. Any other more questions on these items? All right. Looking for a motion, John?
I can make a motion to approve the list of disbursements over 25,000.
Thank you. Nancy?
Second.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are, that is the last one. So I gotta find announcements. I know they're here somewhere. There, I got them. All right, announcements for today. Parks and Recs Commission is hosting an annual Arbor Day celebration Wednesday, May 4th, 6 p.m. at Bass Lake Park. That's 5601 Xenia Avenue. Metro Transit and Hennepin County are having a community meeting about Blue Line Extension. That's May 5th. That's this Thursday from 5 to 7. It's an open house. Come to the community center and ask your questions on the new alignment. Next city council meeting is Tuesday, May 17th at 7 p.m. Council chambers here at City Hall. It's available for attending via Zoom. The Celebrating Women-Owned Business Expo is Saturday, May 21st at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Sacred Heart Church, 4087 West Broadway. City Council meetings and work sessions are open to the public. Current and previous are available for viewing on our website, crystalmn.gov. crystalmn.gov. Any other announcements? Nancy?
Just wanted to promote Hennepin County's Step To It program, which is through the month of May, and that's where you log in your steps. It's free. You can register. No monetary awards, but you do get recognition for cities who are most engaged and those who have the most steps recorded.
Correct.
So you can go to steptoit.org and register free and log in your steps every day.
Right, and it's not too late to do it.
No,
It's
you can
not
do it
too
right
late.
now.
And by the way, steps come even when you're playing pickleball.
Nice.
So there's a conversion for steps when you play pickleball. So you pickleball
Excellent.
players, you add a lot of steps, so please sign up.
That was a plug.
That was a plug for a Step To It in pickleball, I
there we go.
suppose. But I remember one year when we did that, I scored a lot of steps on pickleball.
John,
That
was
was
your
great.
plug joke about the
No, well, maybe.
electrical thing?
Well,
No, but it
well,
could
it could be.
Play on words, I thought you were on a roll.
All right, who wants to end this? John?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right, thank you. Nancy?
I second.
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, you guys have a good week or two. See you next time.
Recording stopped.